Well, to get the other side of things, I'm now joined by Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, General Secretary of the Palestinian National Initiative and member of the Palestinian Legislative Council. And I'm not sure if you managed to hear the conversation I just had there with Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, but I will start by asking you the same question about the pictures from Gaza overnight, the Israeli attack, causing horror around the world, seeing people in sort of flames, or videos have been shared widely. Do you think any of that is going to add any pressure on the way Israel is conducting its military operations, sir?
No, because the West is supporting Israel. Because most of the Western governments are continuing their unlimited support to Israel, although it has committed terrible crimes. Because the United States of America keeps telling the world that they are defending Israel, and they keep sending Israel all kinds of military equipment, including 50,000 tons of explosives that are used in Gaza. But on the other hand, I'm really surprised. I didn't hear everything that was said, but I think what we are dealing with is a fascist government, a fascist Israeli system, a fascist Israeli parties, a fascist Israeli people who are committing terrible genocide in Gaza. What can justify killing 17,000 Palestinian children? What can justify the bombardment that you have just described, burning people alive? And all these lies that they keep telling about fighters hiding among the civilian population. The big question here is why Israel is occupying Palestinians for 76 years. Why Israel displaced 70% of the Palestinian people in 1948, committing terrible massacres to force them out. And why the Israeli army is now starving the people of the northern parts of Gaza, trying to push them again out of their country. 70% of the population of Gaza are refugees from the land that they've been evicted from in 1948. And now they want to conduct another genocide, another collective punishment, and another act of ethnic cleansing. That is the reality of what the Israeli army is doing. They claim to be moral, but where is morality in killing 52,000 Palestinians, 70% of whom are women and children and elderly people? All what we have heard are lies after lies after lies from a terrorist army, from a terrorist state. Yes, there is terrorism here, and the terrorist is Israel. The state of Israel, if you can call it a state, is nothing but a fascist entity that continues to commit genocide, collective punishment, and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian population. Why are they invading Lebanon? Who is the aggressor here? And Lebanon said, Hezbollah said, they will stop the fighting immediately if Israel stops the attacks on Gaza. That's what Iran said. That's what Iraq said. Who killed Ismail Haniyeh in Iran, in Tehran? Wasn't it the Israeli side? Who attacked and bombarded places everywhere now in Lebanon, including Christian communities, as you have described? This is a country of aggression that never stopped its aggression on Palestinian people, on Arab people, occupying other people's lands, and not only occupying our land, but annexing them to Israel as well.
Sir, you've made it your life's work to obviously campaign on the part of Palestinian people, politically, socially, everything. At some points, I believe you were supportive of a two-state solution, but you describe now the people of Israel as fascist, not just the government, not just the military. You say the fascist Israeli people. How far are we now from having any sort of diplomatic channel through this off-ramp out of this military action?
I didn't say that all Israelis are fascists, but I say I mean that most of the Israeli society has moved towards fascism, yes. And without that, you would not have seen this fascist government. But there are people in Israel who want to see real peace. There are Jewish people in the United States of America who support Palestinian people and organize demonstrations in support of Palestine. And these noble people give us hope that there is a different kind of people with whom we can deal, but not this Israeli government. Unfortunately, not the majority of the Israeli society, who are advocating now not only aggression on Palestinians, but also on Iran, on Lebanon, on Iraq, on Jordan, and on other countries. And is there a place for diplomatic solution? There was, but Israel killed it. The Palestinian Authority concluded or signed Oslo Agreement, which I found unjust, but nevertheless, they were the official representative of the Palestinian people, the PLO, and they signed an agreement which gives Palestinians eventually only a little state on 22% of the land of historic Palestine, instead of 44%, which was assigned by the United Nations decision that allowed Israel to exist. And Palestinians recognized Israel. Israel never recognized Palestine. Who killed Oslo Agreement? Netanyahu. Who killed the possibility of peace? The Israeli governments. Who stopped negotiations? It was Israel. Who is conducting settlement expansion every day in the occupied Palestinian territories in violation of international law? It is Israel. Who is organizing these settlers to be gangs, terrorizing Palestinian communities and evicting them from their homes in the West Bank? It is the Israeli government and the Israeli army. So in my opinion, when you have a situation where 7.3 million Palestinians live on the land of historic Palestine versus 7.1 Jewish people, what's the solution? It's either two states, which they refuse, or one democratic state, which they also refuse. What is their solution? Ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people. Isn't that fascism?
Sir, before we run out of time in the show, I just want to talk to you about what is also happening in northern Gaza, with orders from the Israeli military for around, it's believed, 400,000 people to move to the south of Gaza. Hamas, meanwhile, sending messages telling those people not to move. And there appears to be a sustained period of military conflict from Israel coming. Talk to me about your concerns.
Well, I also say that people should not. Why should people leave their homes? Where should they go to? You know that Israel evicted already about 1.7 million people out of their homes, and then they put them in the south in a strip that is no more than 22 square kilometers, deprived of food, deprived of water, deprived of shelters, deprived of medications, living in horrible conditions, no bathrooms, no shelters, no latrines, nothing. The people are in horrible situation. The people in the north of Gaza don't want to leave because they've seen what happened to their relatives who left. And still, they were bombarded also in the south. So you can be killed in the north or in the south. Now, I am a medical doctor, as you know, and we have medical teams now working in Gaza. They report to us horrible things. People are shattered and killed in the streets. Their bodies are lying on the ground. Nobody can even bury them. If people are injured, nobody can get to them to treat them. Houses are demolished and burned down. Tanks are moving around, shooting and bombarding people. No supplies of food has been allowed into northern Gaza for 12 days now. No medications is allowed there. Our medical teams cannot move around to treat the injured people. And now the 3 left hospitals there were attacked several times, and the Israeli army is trying to force the doctors and nurses to get out of the hospitals and leave their patients. That is the reality of what's happening in the northern part of Gaza.
Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, we really appreciate your time. Thank you.